they come from, their community. And so it just when you go and you check out the press conference, the video of that on YouTube or something sometime. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, that I think is your best source of info on this. But check it out. I'm very encouraged about it. I don't know how soon the turnover is going to be on it, but I really think that if they stick it out, stick to their guns, that the Pro Bowl is going to turn around within the next couple years and become a cool, relevant thing again that we as football fans can enjoy, be excited for, and care about. And the players in the league will actually not only, be excited to accept that honor and go attend festivities, but will actually put on a good performance while they're down there. Alright, so that's it for football talk. What do we still have here? I think we still got baseball talk. We haven't talked baseball yet, have we? No, well, we better get to baseball, and then we'll squeeze in the rest of what we got. Just some pro wrestling, tiny bit of tennis quickie, and a tiny bit of horse racing quickie. So, on to baseball, and we'll keep the baseball talk fairly modest size for tonight, since we'll be talking it for the next several months. We got tons of time to talk baseball, but we'll focus most of our baseball talk tonight on my, and possibly, hopefully not, your Minnesota Twins. One of the worst teams in baseball all year, the worst team in the American League thus far all year. It has been an extremely rough season thus far for the Twins organization, as well as the Twins fan base. And in typical 2016 Twins fashion, I was just ranting on this the last show, I'm pretty sure. If not that, it was 2 shows ago. The Twins continue with their every week cluster of call-ups and send-downs from one roster to the other. It's just gotten to a nauseating point. Both Byron Buxton and Max Kepler are back up on the main roster. Kepler actually got his first career RBI in the game tonight. One of the main reasons for his call-up, or the main reason for his call-up, is Miguel Sano pulling his hamstring a few games ago and being placed on the DL. Hopefully, this ends the horrific failure of an experiment that was Miguel Sano in right field. Hopefully when he comes back, Kepler's playing good enough to keep him out there. Sano's too good of a bat not to have in the lineup. You got to either then DH him or put him at third. Why we haven't just put him back at third and got to trading Trevor Plouffe to solve this whole lineup issue is beyond me. Our bullpen is so crappy, and we could get a good bullpen guy now and a prospect of some kind for Plouffe easily, like that. Just don't understand what the organization, the GM, what they're possibly thinking when they're putting this team together. But all I really want, as I've said before on the show, is I just want them to make up their damn minds. Just figure out what the course is and then stay that course. Okay? I don't even care what you decide at this point. You could decide that Ricky Nolasco is the freaking course from here on out. And you know what I think about Ricky Nolasco. Not much. I don't care. That'd be great. As long as you stick with it, okay? I don't even care at this point. Put freaking Mauer at short. Put Sano in center field when he comes back, and have Buxton catch. I don't care, just so long as that's the way it's going to be for the rest of the season. And whatever struggles there are going to be part of a learning process that at some point in time turns around and starts to pay off a little bit. Okay? You can't learn how to hit a major league fastball facing minor league fastballs. You can't learn how to hit a major league curveball facing minor league curveballs. Okay? That's why Buxton is such a freaking mess all the time. He goes down to the minor leagues for a couple weeks and just tears it up. Hits like 350, 400 every time he's down there. Gets called up, struggles at the plate. And you wonder why? Because he's constantly going back and forth. You have to just lock him in on the main roster as your center fielder and say, okay, the struggles that he has at the plate, we're going to have to live with. We're gonna take the wash or the push that we get from the amazing defense that he's going to provide us, which we haven't had any of. Our outfield defense has been the worst in all of baseball through the first 2 months of the season. And then at least you have the comfort of, while he's struggling at the plate, well, hey, at least he's seeing it and he's getting used to it and he's finding out what doesn't work, and one of these days he's going to figure out what does work with the right coaching. Which I think the Twins have. I have no issues with the quality or competency of the Twins coaching and manager staff. None whatsoever. It's the front office, general management, and then a lot of the lineup. That's where the issues are. But for the love of Pete, choose the course, stay the course. And that course should be the youth. Okay, it should be Rosario in left. It should be Buxton in center. It should be Kepler in right. It should be Park at DH and Mauer at first, and those two rotate at that position. It should be Sano at third, okay, and then Dozier at second. Nunez and Escobar switching off at shortstop. A catcher would be great at some point in time, and then just clarity and consistency in the pitching. Like, it doesn't even need to be top notch. I'm telling you, if that defense behind it improved, the win total for our pitching would be fairly respectable. Our pitching is middle of the pack. Okay, it's not terrible. Our bullpen's pretty stinky, but overall, especially the starters, it's middle of the pack. So you turn that into wins by producing runs and playing defense. Okay. And the defense can just be changed by the right lineup. And the runs, they're, honestly, Bunghole Park is hitting really well this year. Sano has come around at times this year, although he struggled at times too. Mauer has looked like Mauer of old for quite a bit of this season, although not all of it. If Dozier ever frickin' got things turned around and figured out at the plate, we're sitting in a decent position from a run-producing standpoint. Based off the bats we have, but when your defense is always responsible for giving up 2 to 4 runs, in addition to your pitching that's responsible for giving up 2 to 4 runs, that's a lot of offense to have to produce every night, and that's where the Twins have been coming up short. But they did not come up short tonight. They won exactly that type of game tonight against the Rays by a score of 6-4. As I mentioned, Max Kepler and Byron Buxton both in the lineup in that game, called up from the minors, and Kepler getting his first Major League RBI of his career. This following a 3-game sweep at the hand of the Oakland A's out in Oakland, and that was following a 3-game sweep of our own over the Seattle Mariners, and that was coming off a series against the Royals where we lost 2 but won the final of the 3-game series there. So we actually had a 4-game win streak, believe it or not, while I was away from y'all. Now, the upcoming schedule for the Twins has them facing the Tampa Rays again at home. They're hosting. This is a homestand here, by the way, so get out and see them if you're into, hanging out at the ballpark, drinking some beers, eating some expensive hot dogs or some nachos, and watching your favorite team give up 4 runs or more every day. But, hey, you never know. You want to be there when it turns around, if it turns around. So, I don't know. Something like that. When did I get on the Twins payroll? But anyway, Twins got 3 more games. This is a 4-game home series against the Rays. Next game Friday at 7:10 p.m., then a Saturday afternoon game at 3:10, and a Sunday game. The Sunday game is at 1:10. Then on Monday, they will be off, enjoying a rare off day in the Major League Baseball season, and then they will be back at it for a 3-game home series hosting the Marlins that starts on Tuesday, running Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Those are all night games starting at 7:10. And then after that series is done, they will have one more 3-game homestand series over the weekend next week, starting on Friday, lasting through Saturday and Sunday against the Boston Red Sox. Friday night's game will be 7:10, and then Saturday and Sunday will both be day games at 1:10. So let's take a quick look at the standings around the league, and then we'll be done talking Major League Baseball. The Twins still the worst team in the American League, and it's not even close. They have 6 less wins than the next worst team, and that is the Tampa Rays, who they are playing right now. But the Twins are 16-37. Tampa Rays 22-30. But we'll stay in the Central Division. Fairly good division this year. You've got the Tigers in 4th place at 25-28, 3 games below 500. That's not bad. It's not good, but it's not all that bad. Then you've got the White Sox falling mightily. They lost 7 in a row since the last time we talked, I want to say. Got back to winning a few here, but they went from 1st place, best team in all the American League for the entire season, to 3rd place in their division at 29-25. The Indians tied in relevance to 1st place in their division with them. They are 28-24, both Indians and White Sox, a game and a half back of the defending World Series champions, who are now in 1st place again in the American League Central, the Kansas City Royals, at 7 games above 500 with a 30-23 record. They are on a tear in their last 10 games. They are 8-2. Elsewhere in the American League out west, we've got the Rangers in 1st place at 31 wins and 22 losses with a half a game lead over the Seattle Mariners at 30-22, who, had they not got swept unforeseeably by the Twins, would still be in 1st place. They are followed 6.5 games back behind the Rangers is the Oakland Athletics at 25-29, followed by the Astros at 25-30, and the Angels of Anaheim at 24-29. Both of my top 2 picks in that division, bringing up the rear as of right now. We'll see if one of them can't turn it around at least. And then in the East, we've got the Red Sox on top at 32-22. 1 game behind them is the Baltimore Orioles at 30-22. 3.5 games out of first is the 29-26 Toronto Blue Jays. The Yankees are 3 games below 500 at 25-28, and the Rays, as I mentioned, 9 games out of first, 8 games under 500 at 22-30. Quick look to the National League. In the East, on top is the Washington Nationals. They're 33-21. 3 games behind them at 29-23 is the New York Mets. 1 game behind the Mets in 3rd place would be the Marlins at 29-25. The Phillies slightly overachieving at 2 games below 500, 26-28 record for them. And the Braves, the only team in all of baseball that is as bad, if not worse, than the Minnesota Twins. Thank goodness for them. They are 16-37, exact same crappy record as the Twins. In the National League West, the Giants have claimed their rightful place on top of the division here with a 34-22 record. They lead the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are in 2nd place in the West by 5.5 games. They're 1 game above 500 at 28-27. Rockies currently in 3rd place, 5 games below 500 at 24-29. Diamondbacks of Arizona at 24-32, and the Padres, who's got their owner even ripping them publicly now, they are bringing up the rear in their division at 21-33. And closing out with the National League Central, you've got the best team in all of baseball throughout the entire season, the Chicago Cubs. They are currently 37-15 with an 8.5 game lead over the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2nd place at 29-24, followed by the Cardinals at 28-26. Then you've got the Brewers below 500, 25-29, and the Cincinnati Reds, the worst team in the National League the 2nd worst team in the National League thus far, with 19 wins and 35 losses. Boom, baseball done. Moving on. So we've got 3 topics left. At least 2 of them will be quickies. One of them will be a little bigger than that. That's what she said. And then, of course, we close our show here this week, as we do every week, with our balls deep thought of the day. All right, so let's get our 2 quickies out of the way, and then we'll get to our final larger size topic, and then balls deep thought.